is June 11th, 2021. I just wanted to hop on here and just explain the thoughts from today, some setups that I saw that I didn't take. I actually didn't take any trades today, but felt like it was worth it to hop on here and just explain my thought processes and possible trades that weren't the highest quality of setups, but nonetheless, they would have worked out if you took them. Some wouldn't have. So let's just dive right in and see what kind of options we had today. So one was on NVDA and the other one was on Tesla. We also had an NQ trade that was possible that I'll get into in a little bit. All right, so obviously we start with our higher time frame analysis. We have NVIDIA, which has been super, super strong lately. It's been literally in a nice trend since mid-May, and we're all the way up here at all-time highs now. One thing that I saw, it is a bit overextended, obviously, as you can see. But I feel like this was a reasonable pullback here. You can kind of see that we had this bull flag pattern-ish, that this was, I don't know, I like this formation. As you can kind of see, we had, and we had this formation here, and NVIDIA kind of broke out of that today, which was super promising, and it was super strong. So yeah, this was kind of the flag it was breaking out of, and let's go down to a lower time frame. So that was the first indicator or confirmation I had that NVIDIA was strong. And whenever you have a higher time frame analysis pattern or confirmation, it's always good. Okay, so now we're going to go down to the 5-minute. And let's see what I saw today for NVIDIA. I didn't take this trade again, but this was probably an interesting trade that worked out. But all right, let's get right into it. So so we had these 45-minute supply and 2-hour supply. NVIDIA first 5-minute candle opened up in supply and actually managed to close this candle green. But as you can see, this candle is green here, NQ is green, and ES was also green, or actually, and let's just take a look at ES real quick. The first 5-minute candle on ES I think it was green as well. Yeah, it was green. It was a weird looking green candle, but it was a weird looking doji. And there was really no strength here for ES. It kind of just dropped off, as you can see. But since NVIDIA's tech, we're going to look at NQ just for now. All right, so back to the 5-minute chart for NQ as well. On NQ, we had a clear sign of weakness. First 5-minute candle was red, and a little bit of a doji candle, but nonetheless red. And then we kind of had a little bit of relative strength coming in NVIDIA. It sort of held this level here. It held the 700 level, and this is another confirmation. 700 is a psychological level. So as soon as it held this level, I knew that it was probably going to push up or at least test the supply or maybe even test high of day. And this was also extremely strong volume. As you can see, it's really, really strong. This is a huge volume spike here, as you can see, compared to the other days. It's probably the highest volume candle all week, I think. Could be wrong, and maybe over here as well. But you get the idea that it was super, super strong today. It opened up extremely strong. So a possible trade idea that I had was when we kind of broke this, there was 2 entries that could have possibly been played. One was as soon as we broke sort of this, 2-candle wedge you can kind of see here. I'll draw it out for you guys real quick. It kind of looked like this. So you could play the break. The only reason why I wouldn't have played this break is because of supply, and that's it. But it is used now, so supply is already used. So that is something to keep in mind. I would have entered if I played this. I did not again, but in hindsight, obviously, it was a nice trade. But I didn't. This is just something to keep in mind that maybe you go in with lower size. It's not the highest of quality trades again, just because we do have a little bit of weakness in the indexes on NQ and ES, which is why I was cautious. But another good confirmation here is we have increasing volume. It's not the best increasing volume, but it is increasing volume. And I would have entered at the close of this 940 candle. And my scaling plan says that as soon as we get a quick push up, I scale out. But let's see what NQ did. So on the 940 candle, we have this 940 candle. Now it's green. It's holding above this key level, which is a good sign. I didn't like how it rejected VWAP. which was a little bit scary, but as you can see, we ended up pushing up for a little bit. This would have been a nice, beautiful scalp trade. We had huge volume on the next candle. Wasn't a fan of this upper wick, so I probably would have scaled one here. Probably somewhere in this wick candle on the close, and maybe another one at this push with a target of was it previous? So yeah, this broke high of day, or sorry, excuse me, all-time high, and the previous or the other target would have been probably all-time high. But you know, once we, of course, we have to wait for a 5-minute close as well. So that's why it's super, super important to stick to your plan and not get faked out. The old me would have just said, "Oh my God, I see this massive red candle. Let me exit for a loss." And little, did I know that this actually came back up and closed near the highs of this candle. Even though it did tumble a little bit, and it kind of just chopped around here. I would have exited for a minimum gain. If I exited here, it would have been break even. But because I secured profits here and here, hypothetically, it would have been a good trade. But again, I didn't take this trade, being fully transparent. This is a solid trade that could have worked out. Not the highest of quality, again, because of the equities chopping around, Friday expiration. There was all these factors that didn't make it the highest of quality. But on another given day, if the equities were, sorry, not the equities, the indexes were trending higher, this would have been a very, very, very nice trade that would have worked out in my favor. And just to clear up again, the supply, I wasn't really too concerned about it because it was used and we were opening up in supply. Whenever we open up in supply, it typically doesn't work out most of the time, and it's pretty weak actually. Yeah, and I knew that the all-time high that we had around 712 was going to act as a magnet, especially considering that we had retail buyers pushing price higher, trying to test that. Yeah, so that was the first trade. The next trade on NVDA that was possible, excuse me, was this high of daybreak. Again, I didn't take this because the indexes were choppy, but a good an area I was looking to get long was right around here, especially around this 1155 candle, this RBNR high of day, anticipating this intraday resistance break. Actually, this 1155 candle was beautiful to enter on. Kind of broke above, held above 710, which is another mini psychological level. Around 1155, we bounced off this key level, this NQ key level, which was another confirmation. However, I really didn't like how NQ was kind of weak. It was making we were kind of in this wedge area, but we were making lower highs, lower lows even, and it was just trending down, and it wasn't looking great. If we were testing high of day, it would have been great. NVIDIA did have relative strength, so again, you could have played this. It's very possible. Not the highest of quality again, so you could have gone in with lower size, maybe one contract, or bought some time just to see how price reacted. This NVIDIA trade did work out if you took it. It actually paid pretty nicely for those that did take this trade, this high of daybreak. But again, not the highest of setups, the highest quality of setups. For the fact that NQ and ES were very not choppy, but like creating lower highs. You see a lower high here, and it's just riding this trend line. Which brings me to my next point, that you could have taken this NQ trend line break. Yes, it was a little bit risky. In hindsight, it worked out. I did not, again, because this isn't really my style, but I saw this playing out, and I really wanted to get in, but I have to stick to what I do best, and this is not one of them. But a lot of retail traders probably made a good penny off of this play. As soon as it broke this intraday trend line, it would have paid somewhat nicely for about an hour or so, and we had this nice push up at the end of the day. So that was the NVIDIA and NQ trades. I'll take a look at Tesla that I saw as well. This is still kind of something that I'm working on. I didn't take this trade again, just because I really didn't like how the indexes were reacting. But I personally believe that this was a decent trade that I could have taken that just didn't work out. So let's look at a higher time frame analysis. Tesla has been really weak, or just kind of chopping around in this like little range here. We did make a higher low here, which was nice. But again, we're kind of just chopping around, not doing much. obviously the overall is a downtrend, and yeah, so I'm just kind of just waiting for it to do something. But I did notice how we're on like this little downtrend here. I'll draw it here. Sorry, it's a bit funky on this chart here because I've got all my key levels here. We did have this downtrend, um, and so that was one confirmation. I was a little biased toward there, but it's important to trade without biases. So let's go down to a lower time frame, which is the 5-minute chart, and we had this 30-minute stacked supply here. I've been kind of straying away from trading zones directly unless there are a lot of confirmations. And for me personally, I feel like there was a good amount of confirmations to actually take this trade short here. As you can see, this 30-minute supply actually coincides with resistance level, intraday resistance level around 610, 611 area. I'll draw it out for you real quick. Pretty rough sketch or rough kind of drawing here. This orange line will act as our resistance plane or whatever. Just given a sort of, I don't know, a rough estimate. So yeah, but the entry that I saw was this 30-minute supply rally-based drop entry. The plan was to take it short as soon as this candle closed, or as soon as you see this long wick forming. Huge volume spike, huge volume spike. We had a high a day break fail. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 confirmations to take this trade to the short side. We had a supply. I'll just go over them real quick. Higher time frame analysis says lower. We had a downtrend line. There's 1. 2 is supply. 3 is a rally-based drop. It's one of our patterns. 4, we had intraday sort of and short-term resistance here at the 610, 611 area. 4 or 5, sorry, I lost count. We had this huge volume spike, as you can see down here. And yeah, so we had quite a bit of confirmation here. The only problem was that NQ, which is what Tesla primarily follows, it wasn't doing its job. It wasn't creating enough follow through. Hence why I didn't take this trade. It wasn't the highest of quality because of this reason. But again, it was certainly possible to take this trade since NQ was trending lower at this point, and we broke below this key level. And the volume wasn't the greatest during this because it was the lunch hour, and we kind of had like a weird kind of choppy session right around here. So that's why I didn't take this trade. The target was 608. If I did take it and the stop would have been break even, we were about 50 cents away from our target, which would have been a nice lunch meal. But we didn't end up getting that, which was a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to see it work out, but not every trade is going to work out, and I actually didn't take this trade. I didn't take any trades today, but those are the trades that I saw today, and hopefully next week provides some more clear trades and setups, and looking forward to next week. So as always, let me know if you guys have any questions at all. Thanks, guys.